So this topic is going to be very easy, and since the variants have test, we'll try to finish it as soon as possible. Okay? So yeah, we are starting with the next subtopic, that is gymnotypes. I have put maximum number of images, diagrams, whatever that was possible to make this topic more easy. Okay, so here you know the ovules are not enclosed with any flower or fruits. They are just nectar. Okay, so they remain exposed and they are not covered. Okay, nectar is a word which we use in scientific also. Okay, so this is like a key word which you have to mention whenever you are writing about the gymnosperm. Okay, so how is the plant body? It is medium-sized tree or a huge tree or shrub. Okay, for example, there is giant sea sequoia, which is this one. Can you see this boy who's walking? And this is the biggest plant gymnosperm which you could ever find. Okay, this is reddish in color. Okay, and it's huge. Okay, it's not there in India, it's outside India. Then root taproot system. You know about these two types of root systems. This is called as fibrous root system. This is taproot system. This taproot system is present in gymnosperms. Okay. Now, so there is also roots which are associated with fungus, and these are mycorrhiza. You have heard about mycorrhiza before? Yes, right. You have heard about mycorrhiza. This is fungal association with the plant rooting. Okay, here also in gymnosperm, some of the roots are colonized by this fungus called as mycorrhiza. Example is Pinus. So in Pinus, which of the following examples of gymnosperms will show presence of mycorrhiza? The answer is Pinus. Okay. Then while in Cyprus, you can see coralloid roots. What do you mean by coralloid roots? Root which will fix nitrogen. Okay, so they are having association with cyanobacteria. Okay, is this clear? So fungal association is mycorrhiza and cyanobacteria nitrogen fixers are coralloid roots. Okay, I know you all are very intention today, right? Test, physics test. That's why I just want to finish it off very fast. So please give your responses so that we can finish it off. Okay, and then you can prepare for your test. Okay. So these are the examples of gymnosperm. First is cycles. Have you seen this anywhere? This is very common ornamental plant, right? Cycles. This is pinus. Okay, and this is citrus. So cycles is the example of unbranched stem. There is no branching present here. Okay, and branching is present in pinus and citrus. Okay. Next is about leaves. Leaves can be simple or compound. You have to know the difference between simple. This is simple leaf, and this is compound leaf. Have you seen this two type of leaves? Yes. Actually, still these are the things which you have understood better if we had discussed morphology of flowering plants first. Actually, those are the chapters which we should teach you first, but we are going according to the blocks and according to the order which is followed in your higher secondary. Okay. Then next is cycas. Cycas is having pinnate leaves processed for few years. What do you mean by pinnate leaves? This is a pinnate leaf. It's slight, what do you say, rough margin. This outer space is called as the margin. This is what? Palmate. Okay, this is one leaf. Okay, this is one leaf, but this is palmate. This is pinnate, and pinnate type of leaves are present in cycas. Okay. The next is, so this gymnosperm, they have well adapted to withstand extremes of temperature, humidity, and wind. Since they are present in little bit of extreme condition, harsh condition, they have few adaptations inside their body. Okay, so conifers, they have needle-like leaves. Okay, why those needle-like leaves are present? To reduce the surface area so they can retain maximum water inside its body. Okay, then they have big cuticle cervical stomata. This will help again to reduce water loss. Okay, so these are what do you know function of stomata? Yes, exchange of gases, and also there is exchange of water which is taking place. Okay, through this small pores called as stomata. Well, their sunken means what? Usually, if this is a leaf, then they are present here on the surface, but they are not present here. They are present inside. Okay, little bit penetrating inside the leaf, so that the water cannot escape from the plant. Okay, from the leaves. Okay, is this clear? Now, so this is for pines. It's the three types of needle-like formation you'll see in gymnosperm. You don't have to buy by these names, but this is for your reference. Okay, and next, these are the type of leaf variations which you can study. So I guess you guys have to do some project or something in 11th standard or maybe in 12th standard. So that time this is one of the people think this is the easiest, but this is not easy. It's not easy to identify each and every type of leaves that are present in your garden or maybe some study area you can do. Okay, so you can learn about this and then you can divide them in which category they are falling based on what type of leaf pattern they are having. Okay, so this can be one of your project options for you, which you can take. Okay, 11th or 12th standard, whenever you guys are giving those choices. Okay, then how is the reproduction here in gymnosperms? So they are using heterosporous. What do you mean by heterosporous? Hetero means yes, Lisa, hetero means different, right? What different things are produced here? Spores. That is, one is micro, one is mega. Micro means small, mega means bigger. Which one will be male? Yeah, micro is male, mega is female, right? And they are present within sporangia, born on sporophytes. Okay, you know this sporangia, sporophytes. Last time we have discussed. Fields means leaves, right? Sporo is leaves which are bearing the spores, right? Sporophytes. So how these sporophytes are arranged? They are arranged in lax or compact strobili or cones. So this is a strobili, which is compact. There is one more structure called as lax, and lax is not how this is very close to each other, right? But lax is not this much close. They might be loosely arranged in lax. Okay, so this here you can see this is the female strobili and this is the male strobili. Can you see these two different structures? Yes. You can differentiate between them. This is male strobili. This is female. You must have seen this female strobili. Have you seen this anywhere? Yes, it's very common. It's a very common this actually ornamental plant again. Okay. Then see these things even if you have not seen it everywhere, now you'll start noticing these things. Okay, wherever you go, you'll be like, okay, I've seen this somewhere, I've seen this somewhere. Okay, this is a type of curiosity which are supposed to develop actually. Then only we will learn these things better. Because animals and plants, unless and until you be in their contact, you cannot understand them. Okay. Then, so male strobili or microsporangiate. Its characters are it is microsporophylls and microsporangiate. Okay, so strobili here will be consisting of microsporophylls and microsporangia. So this will be developing into male gamete, right? Male gamete. So highly reduced and confined to only limited number of cells. So they are very limited in number. Okay, and they are highly reduced. Highly reduced means they will be very small. Okay, then this reduced gametophyte is polar grain. So now you know why we are saying it highly reduced. Did you see polar grain anywhere? Polar grain. Do you know hibiscus flower? That powdery thing which that is polar grain. Okay, so it's like almost feels like a powder. So you can imagine how much reduced it is. Okay, then the development of pollen grain takes place within the microsporangia. So where they are present at the same place they are being developed. Okay, development what means what? The plant do not bear the reproductive structure when they are just growing, right? So they reach a reproductive stage. After reproductive stage, they will start developing their gametophytes. Okay, and then after some time they will become mature, and after that the pollination will take place. Right now, my macrosporangiate or female strobili. About this, only one statement is given that pores bearing megasporophylls with ovules or megasporangia. So megasporangia is what? Ovule. Okay, and microsporangia is what? Microsporangia is pollen grain. Okay, is this clear? Yes. Okay. Next, position of strobili. So they can be on same tree. For example, the male and female. Okay, they can be on the same tree, which example is pinus, which looks something like this. This is the male part, this is the female part. But in case of cycas, they are present on two different trees. So this is whole male plant. This will not have any female characters. Okay, and this is female plant. This is clear. So same plant, same tree with this pinus, different trees with this cycas. Okay, then next is about nuisance. Before teaching you about the nuisance, you have to understand that whenever you hear this name, you have to correlate it with nutrition. Okay, so the newly formed babies will be getting their nutrition from the nuisance. Okay, so there is megaspore mother cell. It is differentiated into nuisance. Megaspore mother cell means the initial cell. Okay, so this initial cell will be now forming into nucellus. This nucellus is protected by this envelope. Can you see this? Okay, this is nucellus, and this nucellus is protected by envelope, which is called as integument. The name is not given here, but still. Okay, so this envelope is called as what? Integument. Okay, and composition structure is called ovule. So there will be ovule present in the center. Okay, this is clear now. Ovules are born on megasporophyll, which make be clustered to form female. Okay, so more than there is one female cone coming, then another, then third, then they are forming a nice bunch of cone which you can see like this. Okay, this is one female megaspore, this is second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Okay, yes, then. So megaspore mother cell, they are undergoing meiosis. Okay, when they are undergoing meiosis, how many cells are they going to produce? Yes, 4. Right? So out of 4, 3 of them are going to degenerate. And only one of them is being differentiated further. Okay, so what happens here? One of the megaspore enclosed with the megasporangium develops into multicellular female gamete, whereas 2 or more archegonia or female cells. So there are 4 megaspores here, and they are going to develop, they are going to divide and become multicellular female gametophyte. Okay, this multicellular female gametophyte, they will bear 2 or more archegonia or female sex organs. Okay, I see this will be little bit confusing. Same names are coming: microsporangia, megasporophyte, megasporophyll. So everything sounds similar. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to go home. You need to write everything. What megaspore is, what microspore is. You have to correlate them, and then you will understand it better. Okay, or maybe when we learn the next chapter, that time we'll understand it clearly. Okay, so right now just try to understand the structure of gymnospores. Okay, this is clear? Yes. If you have any doubt, you can ask me anytime. There. So what happens? This multicellular female gametophyte is retained within megasporangium. So what is happening here? Female gametophyte. Have you heard of sporophyte, gametophyte in pteridophyte session and bryophytes? Yes. There was a separate session for sporophyte, separate special session for gametophyte. Here they have only the organs, male organ and female organ. Not the entire plant body is dedicated to become a reproductive structure. Okay, is this clear? And this is the advanced type of feature which is missing. Okay, now, so in gymnosperm, male and female gametophyte do not have an independent free living insect, which we can see in bryophytes and pteridophytes. This is what I was trying to say. Okay, they do not have what? Independent free living existence. They are just a part of the plant. Okay, entire thing is not called as gametophyte or sporophyte. They just called as sex organs. Okay, is it clear? So they remain within the sporangia retained on the sporophyte. Where they are present? They are present on the sporangia, which is retained or which is present on the sporangias. Okay, fine. Then pollination. How pollination will take place here? Pollen grain, it is released from microsporangium. Okay, where is pollen grain produced? Produced on micro means male. You don't know, right? Okay, microsporangium. Then what will happen? With the help of air current, this will flow, and then it will be opening. It will be in contact with opening of the ovules. Okay, the female plants, they will be having the ovules open, which we can see here. Okay, this is the open end. Fine. So the pollen grains are going to come here and sit down on this open end. Okay. Then pollen tube carrying the male gamete towards the archegonia in the. So now what will happen? So here the pollen grain will come and sit. In what do you have inside the pollen grain? Inside the pollen grain there are sperms present. Okay. So what will happen? It will create something called as pollen tube. Okay, there is a tube-like structure which is going to come here, and then it is going to fuse with the egg. Okay, and what it will release? It will release sperms which are present inside the pollen grain. Remember, pollen grain is not the sperm. Pollen grain is the carrier of sperm. Okay, this is clear to everybody. So this is how pollination is going to take place inside the gymnosperm. There's things we know. There is then formation of zygote. Zygote will be formed into embryo, and then it will be forming seeds, and these seeds are not covered. And that is a feature of gymnosperms. Okay? Is there any doubt? Is there anything that you want to ask? We are on slide number 75. 76. We have to reach at slide number 86. And we will reach there within 10 minutes if you all pay attention. You keep sleep little bit aside. Okay? Yeah. So is there any doubt about angiosperms? No, just go through it once. And if there is anything you have not understood, any word, or is there anything if I have not mentioned here in the slides, please let me know. Because I refer to the recent NCERT textbooks, and these are little old textbooks. So if your teachers are teaching those old syllabus, then I'll have to cover that also. Okay. Just check whether everything is covered first. Then you can check for the important words. All of them, please drink some water with your have. Is it right? Please find zero. Okay. Okay, so let's continue with angiosperm so that we can finish off the fast. So, what is the specialty of angiosperms? Very good. They have flowers, right? So, that is the very first statement which you have to write whenever you are answering about angiosperms. Okay, they are the plants which bear flowers. Okay, then their seeds are enclosed in fruits. Okay, for example, in gymnosperm, there is no fruit which is present. Okay, there is directly seed. Okay, but here the seed is present inside the fruits. Okay, then there are this obviously this will include large number of plants. So which whenever we walk, just take a walk. So most of the plants which we see are actually angiosperm, that is flowering plants. Okay, so the smallest flowering plant is Wolfia, and the tallest one is Eucalyptus. Have you heard this name Eucalyptus? Yes. What is the use of this plant Eucalyptus? It's very common plant, right? Yes. Medicine. Okay. Then where do we use angiosperm plants? So they are used in food purpose for the pure medicine, and several other commercial important plants. Right? Food, that is your fruits, vegetables, okay? Even flowers, some of the flowers are edible, right? And then product your medicine, so you know medicine, one example is right here, utilities. Okay, and commercial purpose, which are the plants we are used for commercial purpose? You literally have example. This is a plant, this was a life sometime wood, right? So whatever wooden furnitures we have, they all are the commercially usable things. Okay. Then, so there are two classes in angiosperms, dicotyledon and monocotyledon. So dicotyledons are what? The ones which are having two cotyledons. The venation here is reticulate venation. What do you mean by reticulate venation? Parallel venation, you know. Can you give an example of parallel venation? Which plant can you see parallel venation? Very good. Rice is a very good example of monocot. Okay, so here we can see this is reticulate venation. Okay, 1, 2, 3, it's going like veins here and there. And the ones which are having very straight lines, that is actually parallel venation. Okay, so that is the difference. Dicotyledon is two cotyledon, mono is single cotyledon. Here it is reticulate venation, here it is parallel venation. Then all the whorls, you know whorls of the flower. What are the whorls of the flower? How do you know? Jenna morphology वो chapter शिकवच ना. Maybe तुमका classes जिंकरा असतात ऐसे करायचे. Whorls of flower म्हणजे किती? हाँ, very good. You have to say it ना, then I feel good. Okay, so हमारे whorls असानी हालके जैसे थे tetramerous, pentamerous. Tetra means 4 or multiples of 4. Pentamerous means 5 or multiples of 5. Okay, you take any example, you will find this common pattern. All the whorls, all the parts, that is stamen, ovary, petals, sepals, all of them will be having these many numbers. Okay, and here in monopod it is trimerous in the multiple of 3. Okay, abnormalities असतात not always that तीन मुझे तीन उसमें थोड़े abnormally सुद्धा close असतात. Okay, is this clear? Then male sex organ obviously it is this part, stamen. Stamen is having what? This long slender part is filament, top part is anther. Anther is the area where the pollen grains are. If you cut anther, you will see something like this. Okay, this is the cut part of the anther. So you say 1, 2, 3, 4. This structure you will have in detail in your study. Okay, so these are the basics which we are studying. Okay, so anther, stamen is made up of what? Filament and anther. Where is pollen grain present? Yes, on the anthers, right? Then pollen mother cell, it divide and produce microspore. This microspore which matures and form pollen grains. And inside pollen grains, what will be present? Yes, male content, that is sperm. Okay, is this clear? Now, next is female sex organ, which is pistil. The pistil is having what? This bottom part, which is ovule, stigma, style, and the inside part is ovary. Okay, ovary, inside ovary, what you have? Ovule. Okay, so ovules are present. So ovule has megaspore mother cell. What does ovule have? Megaspore mother cell will be present, and this will produce haploid megaspores. Okay, then so what happened here? So haploid megaspores कितले असतात? Meiosis झाला म्हणजे काय? 4 असतात, right? Out of which 3 are degenerating, and only one forms the embryo cell. What is embryo cell? This is embryo cell. This diagram again you'll have in detail in 12th standard. Okay, so you cannot say in 12th standard that I don't know what is embryo cell because we are already discussing it here. Okay, so definitely you should know one part, that is this belongs to male or the female part of the plant. Female, see now even it's not something. Okay, this is the female part. Okay, embryo cell. So what is present in the embryo cell? You can see three-celled egg apparatus. Where is egg apparatus here? It's written as no. This is written. This is the egg apparatus. 1, 2, and 3 cells. Okay, then there are two synergids. So center there are two synergids, and then there is these are called as again 3-cell antipodals. So there are some antipodals, synergids, and egg cell. Is this clear? Okay, and this is polar nuclei in the center. They एकूच cell असा, but it is fused. It is having two nucleus. Okay, that's why you can see this is dojismal engine. Okay, so even the diagram is like that. Fine. Now, the polar nuclei eventually produce diploid secondary nucleus. So, cone nucleus produce polar nuclei, which is this. Okay, Atta, there is entry of pollen grain, and I told you that pollen grain is going to settle down here. Pollen tube pollen tube will come and it will go and start fusing the embryo cell. But which cells? This one, or this one? Which is actually the egg. Yeah, this is the egg cell. So, fuse actually. Okay, so pollination pollination and pollen grain it's coming in, taking on the pistil. Okay, it can be through air, water currents, through some pollinators, honeybee. Okay, these are the pollinators which help in the pollination process. So, I told you what we have is, we have egg cell here and a center. Polar nuclei. So, jenna have polar tube there are two sperms present. Okay, so let those sperms don't fuse. Fuse it is fusing the egg cell, which is this. Okay, it is fusing the egg cell and also it is fusing the polar nuclei, and that's why we are calling it as double fertilization. This question is short question for 2 months to 3 months. तो diagram now, so maybe it's for 2 months. Okay, it is what? Double fertilization. Those sperms fuse a egg cell and दूसरा polar nuclei. So when it is fusing with egg cell, it is forming syngamy. When it is fusing with the polar nuclei, it is forming primary endosperm nucleus. Okay, fine. So that's why we are calling this as double fertilization, which is a very unique phenomenon which is happening in angiosperms. Okay, then here zygote will develop into embryo. Okay, zygote म्हणजे काय आता egg cell, right? Egg cell and sperm. It will turn into embryo, and pen will be forming into endosperm. And here endosperm सध्या किती provide करते nutrition provide करते for the growing zygote. Yes, is this clear to everybody? Okay, now synergids and antipodal degenerate after some time. So synergids आम्ही पहिला, which is these two synergids, आणि हे थोडंसं antipodals. एक जातले मागे degenerate जातले. एका आणि एका केले जातले sperm fusion. Okay, this is the future. What is happening in the future for all the structures which are produced. Okay, then after that, what will happen? Ovules develop into seeds and ovaries will develop into fruits. Ovules मध्ये बघूया आणि ovules आणि full ovule. Yes, this is clear. So this is what we have. The last part is about life cycle of an angiosperm, which you have in your text. Okay, the last part, plant life cycle and ordination or generation, that is not. Okay, so just go through this life cycle, which is actually already explained to you while explaining the whole process, and just see if you are understanding that life cycle. So from where we are going to start, so you can see our plant structure on the extreme left side, right? So this plant will be having both male and female sets of organs, right? So there is stigma and also there is megasporangium which is present, okay? And microsporangium, there is that microspore which are being produced. So first thing you have to notice that yellow part which is shaded is the gametophytic. Okay, and the light yellow part, which is the top side, which is the maximum part or maximum life cycle of the plant, that is sporophytic. So during that time, the plant is in diploid condition, and when there is gametes which are being produced, that is the haploid condition. Okay, so then what happens? There are gametes which are being produced, that is pollens in the case of male, which are giving rise to two sperms. And then you can see egg which is being produced by the mega sporangium. And both of them will fuse and finally we will get zygote. This zygote then will be developing and forming an embryo. And this embryo they will root shoot and then they will grow back to the sporophyte. Okay, so which is the maximum life cycle part here in the case of angiosperm, it is sporophyte. Okay, gametophytic phase is very limited. Okay, this is clear to everybody? Yes. Okay. So now you can revise for the physics test. By the way, in morphology of flowering plant, do you have that floral diagrams? Complete करा जाता है floral diagrams के साथ. Last part में. Solanaceae family example में लिया था. Is that there कोई? This is कोई right? The floral diagrams in